Welcome to Adesinaco Weekly Brief, and this week we'll be talking about innovation management, managing your ideas into profitable enterprises. And we're here with the Opemi Additional. Hi, Mr. Opemi.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for all the nuggets that you share on your social media pages. And talking about innovation management, the very first thing I would like to ask is, the ideas really rule the world? I mean, is it the idea, or is it the execution, or is it the innovations?
This is sounding like the parable of, is it parable now? The chicken and the egg, which one comes first? Right. When it comes to ideas ruling the world, it can be true, and it might not be entirely true, because ideas, everything starts from an idea. But then if it remains an idea, then nobody will probably know about it. So while everything we know and celebrate today starts from an idea, if it remained an idea, or if it wasn't properly managed into the final produce, then it won't be something that is worth celebrating. So ideas are powerful, yes. Idea rule the world, yes, but I would like to say ideas well managed rule the world. So the good thing, or the only way ideas can rule the world, is when it's well managed. It's when it becomes that thing that everybody can use. For example, I have an idea of how to make a product so that people can send money from the US to Nigeria. That's a nice idea. We don't have an infrastructure like that. I'm excited, but then who is it useful for? Nobody. So I have to now go and get the work done, get a programmer, get an investor, get someone to market it, launch it into the market. Then when all those processes are now in place, that people start to use it, then people start to give their feedback that this is how this thing that has helped me, this is how these things have helped me. Then it's now what a lot of people will now celebrate. So for ideas to rule the world, to be something that is worth celebrating, it has to pass through a chain of management processes. So ideas in itself, just like what I often say, that nothing in itself can make you rich or can change your life. It is what you know how to do with it. So ideas have the potential to change the world, to rule the world, but then ideas in itself cannot change the world. So it has to be well managed. It has to be transformed. It has to evolve. It has to be processed into either product or service that can now be used by people, that can now be something that is beneficial to everyone who come across it.
Okay. Personally for me, I feel like ideas, the word idea is abstract.
Okay.
So, and this brings me to my next question, in that, how do you know that idea that is profitable? Like, how do you know that idea that can rule the world? Is there like a checklist to know the kinds of ideas, or to test if an idea is strong enough to rule the world?
It's still a yes and no answer. For example, if Dangote, having built a cement company, having built a sugar company, can still build a company and fail. Dangote started noodles. They had to sell the company. So if Dangote can have an idea and things go south, so why I give that analogy is because that's their checklist. For example, is there a market for it? Is there demand for it? Those are certain checklists. Do you have access to the product? A guy reached out to me recently, said he had this idea of how to make rent cheaper. I said, nice, tell me about it. So he said, they want landlords to list on their platform, so that instead of the 10% agents charge, they will charge just 5%. And then instead of having this chain of agents, it will just be direct to customers. I said, nice. But the truth is, these agents are trying to detach from the landlord. They built years of credibility with the landlord. How are you going to convince the landlord not to use their agent anymore? That's one. Number two, you personally, how many landlords do you have access to? None. So it's a great idea, but when we come to the practicality of it, it's just a fantasy, right? Glenn Stead said something in Undercover Billionaire that number one rule of business, find your market first. Let me give another example. Go to South Africa, even in Nigeria right now. People want HIV drug. Demand is there. The market is there. If you can cure HIV today, you'll be a billionaire. Why? The market is there. But is there product for it? No. So is there business there? So there are certain checklists, true, that would show whether this is a profitable idea, this is something that would fly, or this is something that would die. Mark Zuckerberg says that ideas don't come fully formed, right? So that means even the idea you think you have, by the time you start working on it, you discover that, okay, no, it can't come the way it's in my head. I have to. The first Apple, in fact, if you've seen the movie Jobs, when the guy programmed programmed the operating system, and then they went to pitch it to investor, and one of the investors actually bought into it and said, oh, you know what, bring it for me, I would like to buy. They went back, designed the operating system alone, just like the motherboard alone, did I think 20 or 50 units, and they took it to the guy. So the guy was like, okay, what am I supposed to do with this? Where's the other part? Then he said, this is what we pitched to you. He said, yes, but this is useless in as much as it's not in a computer. So nobody's going to come to me and say, hey, I want to buy an operating system. So he said to them, they didn't think of creating a computer. They just had an operating system that is unique. It was the guy that now told them that this thing in itself is useless, or it's not really that valuable. So they had to now go back and now develop the hardware. So they now had to develop the screen, the mouse, the keyboard. That was not in their plan in the first place, right? So when it comes to what checklists for ideas, or can you actually know whether an idea is going to fly? I think we're all trying it out. Honestly, I give another analogy. How many companies are under Heirs Holdings? How many do you know? How many do people know? How many are bringing forth trillion naira profit every year, apart from UBA? Is it that the ideas are not sound? Is it that they are not making money? So, what I'm also trying to say is that ideas, not every idea is going to become a $1 billion corporation. Actually, some ideas are going to make you money, but they're not going to become $1 billion corporation. So the basic checklist is, honestly, is there market for it? Are people looking for it? And are people willing to pay for it? There are certain things that people want, but they're not willing to pay for it. Or they can't even afford to pay for it. For example, Ashakai just did borrow for them in Jos. They want water. There's market for water, but they don't have the money to pay for the water. So some ideas are charitable ideas, no business ideas. So when you check the market determines the idea. And that's where a lot of people miss it. They think, oh, it's the idea that is... The idea is still useless until the market... Even musicians, you hear them say, the audience determines the one they like. Have you ever had maybe like an artist you love, and the person releases an album and you're like, why people not listening to this album? Why this song not going viral? The song is good, but honestly speaking, you have no control over the market acceptance. They pick the one, fight Naira Marley from today till next year. His last song still trended on TikTok. Hundreds of thousands of videos done as dancing videos. You ain't sing. He's singing vulgar song. But the market is saying we love him. Is there business there? Yes. It's only now your own ethical reasoning as a person. And I say, okay, I don't want this, but permit me to mention names. Let's not project sexual stuff online. But Fecom is making lots of money. Why? Even if you disagree with the mode of marketing, the market is there. People are buying manpower. People are buying all those things. So idea might not really necessarily look fancy, but once there's market and the market are willing to pay for it and are looking for it, that means the idea is valid. I can go on and on with examples of like Naira bets, right? It didn't start from outside the betting company. It started from people saying, oh, can you help us bet abroad? And it's like, okay, if you want to bet so bad, I can give you what to bet in Nigeria. So your market determines how your idea performs. It's really, honestly speaking, nobody really knows how big an idea is going to. If you had asked, in fact, in the last 2 decades, there was nothing like $1 trillion corporation. It didn't exist as a concept, but now it exists. So that means when Steve Jobs started Apple, it was never in his imagination to become $1 trillion corporation. Maybe maximum $1 million company. But today it's $1 trillion. So you really don't have that full control of how it perform. But then with, the market acceptance and let me say faith, right? Honestly. So destiny also. So basically, but then there are certain checklists to know that at least will I make money? Even if it doesn't become this big thing, but will I make money? Yeah.
Okay, speaking of faith, because there's this saying, faith without works is dead. I feel like ideas might be weak if the execution and things that you do with the idea, and the markets, like you said, not done well, might not actually go far. So like, what are those things that should be done and looked at in the execution phase to ensure that that idea is reaching? Because someone could actually have an idea, and in the execution phase, even the market do not see that idea in its entirety. So it is not accepted. Because like you said, market acceptance is important. But like, if the idea is not executed in a way that the market accepts it, and then it actually does well, it would not go far. So like, what are those things in the execution phase that should be looked into?
There's a lot of things. There are a lot of things that can be that is meant to be done. But when it comes to executing an idea, when it comes to launching an idea, in fact, I worked in marketing communications for a while. I don't know if I should be saying this, but I I was on the team that launched Peak Chocolate as a brand to the Nigerian market, and I saw the days and weeks and months that went into designing something as little as the packaging design, the number of iteration. Oh, this will not that was one. Also, Pick 456. This will not relate with kids very well. I'll try to target. Are we targeting children or the mothers? So there's so many things that go on behind the scenes, right? So, but when it comes to launching an idea and making sure that where I'm going is where you talked about the fact that an idea can be good and you execute it wrongly. Have you seen a song that is released that the remix became better than the original song? Who knew Go 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 before Bridgetta danced to it? I'm not saying the original song was not bad. Someone just added a little spice of what the market wants. You get? So when it comes to executing an idea, number one, market research. Now, forget the grammar, forget the English. Market research is asking your potential customers what they want. Simple. I've done market research before when we wanted to select influencers to promote Airtel, like northern influencers for Airtel brand in the north. I had to go to, is it Ikeja under bridge? There are a lot of manlands there. When I was talking marketing communication, and I had to be asking them a question. So we had like 10 lists of the influencers. So, do you know this person? No. Do you know this person? No. You know, there's one that was popular, I think Sodiq something. All of them knew. So you don't need anything to convince you that this guy is a good match. Now, all of us working in the agency, none of us live in the north. But by asking the real people in the north, we're able to make specific decisions. So what most of us, what we do wrongly is that we assume on behalf of the customers. So you see someone that is making food now, you just assume that I'm a good chef. People love my food. When I cook for my family, they love the food. Maybe your family like ginger, but majority of the customers don't like ginger. In fact, you might be living in an area where what they want is pastries, but you are very good with jollof. So it's not about your skill or what you can do. It's about what the market wants. You are not in business for yourself. One of our business consultants said something months ago. He told me personally, he said, do you want to execute an idea to feel good, or do you want to meet the customer's needs? Most of us are executing ideas to feel good. I love to bake. Does not mean you will run a successful cake business. You love to cake, make it an hobby. What do people want when it comes to cake is a different thing entirely. Right? For example, you are a baker, you like red velvet. When you check your orders coming in, and red velvet is like 2%. And people like vanilla. Dump red velvet and sell vanilla. So market research is king. And that's why I advise that when people are starting business, start with what's called a focus group. Especially when you don't have the budget for it. You also have the business. They say, what's the target audience? Females in Nigeria. Do you know what's Nigeria? Do you know? And you've never even gone to 5 states in Nigeria. So we deceive ourselves a lot. Right? For example, you are in Ibadan. You want to launch a business. Can you start with females undergraduates in University of Ibadan? A very good case study, Item 7. Item 7 has been in Ilorin for how many years before he started? He won that market hands down. Hands down. So he could it could actually determine the fact of the business. What exactly do people want? So in the case of, that would help you to also do market research well. If you want to if, for example, you want to launch a business for all the females in Nigeria, how many of them can you talk to? But if you are doing for undergraduate in University of Ibadan, can you start with the Department of Physics? Pick females there. With that, you only need to meet 4 class reps and tell them, can you help me distribute this questionnaire to your classmates? And you get factual stuff. Or just go to one of their events and actually speak to maybe like 50 girls. What do you like? Do you like this? Do you like that? Do you like this? And you get ring. And you just save them first. Before you now start scaling. So you move from physics to act. This is something I've done practically. I started selling clothes in 2011. That was 2016. I come to Ibadan, buy clothes, take it to school to sell. I started with people in my department. Right? What gave me edge was now the fact that I now started doing, public speaking on campus. So when I go to actually, it wasn't really my public speaking that gave me publicity. It was my friend's public speaking. My closest friend then, Uriel, was the editor-in-chief of the Union of Campus Journalists. He was everywhere, so I was tagging along. So we could be on a queue in school, and he was like, I want to write a news on this queue. Let me hear what people think. So he's asking them questions. I'm advertising my business. So I scaled it from mass comm to other departments. Before you knew it, all the time there was really all this selling clothes online was already that popular then. So I was really making a lot of money. So you want to start with a focus group, an immediate market that you can easily reach. You can easily ask them questions and get their feedback. So that's market research. Then secondly is what I call product testing. Product testing is, you see, iteration. I think there's something in in product development. They build, learn, and what's the last one? I've forgotten. What he's just trying to talk about is that when you build a product, maybe ideate, build, and learn. Let me just maybe something like that. You ideate something, you build it, then you test it, then you learn from it. So I think it's build, test, learn, and then you repeat. Let me just use that. I think that's simple. It might not be a specific word. So you build something, you test it, then you learn from it, and then you go back to building. What we do is that we build something, we launch it, we are not listening to test, we just continue building, we just continue building, we just continue building. So testing is, let me give you a practical example. I have someone who makes my kaftan for me. Someone reached out to me and said, I can make kaftan for you. I said, no problem. Paid, made it for me. This person sees me at least 3 times every week. And I've only worn that kaftan once. The following day after it was delivered to me. And the person never asked, why don't you wear the kaftan I make for you? And that's how a lot of us run business. You sell to someone and you never get the person's feedback. How was it? What did you like? What did you not like? What do you think I could have improved on? You want to get, because that's how if you download a new app now, they will tell you, rate us. How do you feel? We see all these things, but we just don't apply them. So market research before you build, product testing after you build. But like I told you, it's a cycle. You build, you test, you learn, you go back to building. You test again, you learn, you go back to building. So it's a cycle. Let me just give us one more, right? To actually show that how to execute an idea very well, basically, is marketing. And this should connect to the first 2 I mentioned, right? Marketing also helps you get feedback from people. Because if I invest in marketing and people buy, there are 2 ways you know what their opinion is. Number 1, return customers. Number 2, their review of your subsequent marketing. There was a particular free tech app I downloaded and I used, and it gave me a problem. What I now noticed was when I went to complain on their social media, when I sent a message in their DM and I checked their comment section, it was filled with people with similar problems. Right? Actually, right now, I'm not sure they're still in business. What happened? So, when you market, it's also a form of you testing, you getting feedback. Because if I use your product and it's not good, I will come, especially in this age. People will drag you. And see, when you're in business, don't be emotional with dragging. Even when someone gives a negative feedback and the person maybe the person is not correct, that people might not, it's not like they're always correct. But then the way you take it is what matters. Permit me to use this example. Permit me guys to use this example. I think we have 1 or 2 places to learn on prostitutes. I think so. When you market, do I explain this out? Get it? When you package your idea, I'm talking about how to get feedback from marketing. Right. When you package your idea, and you launch it out. When the positive standard you wrote, let me even say this. Let me say it as it is. I saw somewhere that a prostitute said that right now we have to dress extra revealing because the normal way we used to dress has now become the normal way people dress. So now everybody is an ashewo. So if you now want to become a real, you don't have to be extra. How do they know? Feedback from marketing. So they go out there like, why am I looking like a normal person? I'm not meant to look like a normal person. Before, if you wear backless, people look at you like, are you standing? Or you wear a clothes like that. But today, people literally open their bum and they are not prostitutes. At least not advertised. So when you see all these things, we can also learn as a business, right? Especially when it comes to getting feedback from people, right? That you say you don't like, what's it called? You don't like my products. I'm not going to just respond and just shout at you and say, this are the... Why I mention prostitutes is that we need to become customers pleasers. That's where it comes. Because literally, you are in business for your customers. You are not in business for yourself. It's for them. So, why are you angry? Do you expect everybody to like you? In fact, I know there's a popular opinion that customers that will pay you well don't stress. But I'll tell you, I've had customers that stress me, that pay me a lot of money. In fact, I now agree to love their stress because their stress was worth it. So there's someone that would not do anything with me until we have like a video call. And this guy knows how to tell me stories of his life. So I've learned to enjoy stories because I know after this video call is going to pay. So you can tell me now that in my head, hold on. My dear, this and this. Hold on. And he's using me to talk to his family members. But he will surely pay. So if I not say, why are you wasting my time? I will lose him. If I has referred to me, like 3 people. So there are people like that. So when it comes to you relating to your customer, you have to be people pleasers. And people pleasers means you have an open mind. Oh, you don't like my product? What is it? Even when you are wrong. How many of you have noticed that when you see MTN feedback or response, it is, we apologize for your inconvenience. Can you send us a DM so that we can attend to? They will never respond. It's the way they are trained. And why? You are king. Customer is king. It's still valid. It's just the way you respond to them. See, it's the fact that we think we are victims. No, we are not. Adesina, you are mad. Okay, that's opinion. How I respond actually reflects whether I'm mad or not. So I can easily turn the customer's feedback into PR. So market research, customer's feedback, then your marketing can actually help you know whether this idea you are doing it right or this idea you are doing it wrong.
Okay. So I believe that, we're talking about innovation management here. Innovation in the early stage, in the starting stage, in that you need to, even if there's a market for it, there's a way to attract the market for it. And also innovation in the stage when you're already running the business. Take, for example, Indomie. Indomie has, I don't think I can count
the flavors.
There's crayfish, there's goat meat, that's innovation.
Yeah.
Pick milk, they change the branding almost every time. That's innovation. People are now upgrading to the digital. So how does it work? Like innovation in the early stage versus innovation in the running stage.
If you ask me, I would say innovation when you're already a standard business, even risky. At the early stage, you can afford to make mistakes. You don't have a big brand like that. You're not really using a lot of money. So you can test, you can take some risk. There's something I said before that you take risk to get rich. You manage risk to remain rich or something. Why? When I'm trying to get rich, I don't really have much to lose. But when I'm already rich, I cannot go back. So if I'm still trying to, you can tell me put all your money into this particular thing. Thank God I didn't mention what I want to mention. Into this particular thing. And I will do it because how much is the money? 100,000. You become 1 million naira. But when I consider this is 50 million naira. No, I can't put it everything. So let's diversify. Let me put this one. So also when it comes to starting and running, when you're starting a business, when you're innovating, in fact, that's why at the early stage, you can afford to just launch anything that comes to your mind. Right? But when you're already a business, you already have a structure running, a system running. You now have to subject it to people's validity. Maybe you have a board. you have to tell them you want to change this particular thing, and they have to accept, right? You have, for example, how many flavors have they released that they have actually scrapped? Imagine they now said, because we're releasing this flavor, we are now going to maybe take this one back out of the market. In fact, I know you would know this in maybe quantitative analysis in business, that you do this linear progression and things like that, such that you want to make decision for a business owner that how many units of this product should I produce to make this, maybe to increase profit, to maximize profit, or to minimize loss. You discover that anyone that talks about producing zero of an existing product, they will say don't go for it. But the one that says produce maybe 10 of this, 5 of this, so you go for that. Why? Because if I'm putting all my eggs in one basket, that means I'm going to be losing the customers that is still buying this one. Right? So when it comes to running a big business also, it takes certain structure. That's when management really comes in. And even at the early stage, it's not like there is. But what I will say is that at the early stage, if you lose your business, you can still easily start again. But when you're already running, if you lose everything, that will be a big blow. So when it comes to innovating, you can still innovate blindly at the early stage. But it's just like relationship and marriage. Fast Warren wrote a book, Dating Intelligently. You love intelligently when you are dating. When you get married, that's the time to love. You can now be blind because there's no going back. Now, the reverse is the case now. When you're just starting, you can be anyhow. You can be blind. But when he's now serious, you now have to be because now you now have probably a lot of people's money that you're running with.
Yeah. Okay. However, in innovation, for instance, with reference to what you just said, do you suggest where you want to maybe expand? Do you suggest building on a particular product? For instance, let's say you are known for one thing, or diversifying. Though there is the accounting part of it, where we forecast and then we say, okay, this is the trade you should go for. But then you're like, what really works for the market? Do the market do they like one thing, though it's red today, let it be green tomorrow, let it be orange next tomorrow, or they want to see another side, another spice?
The truth is, people like variety. Now, this is not just assumption. Fact. It's proven fact. People like variety. People like new stuff. People like new things. People like to try new restaurants, new dish, new menu, and things like that. But what people also like is clarity. You don't want to stress people to start having to rack their brain. I'm saying hi because I'm really here to see. I'm here to read a paper on it. But I want to believe that one of the reasons the likes of McDonald's, is it McDonald's? That's the burger. Okay. McDonald's, Burger King, Chicken Republic, KFC. One of the reasons why they are successful is because we know them for one, and every other thing is secondary. Compare Coca-Cola adverts. In fact, have you seen a Fanta advert before? Faintly. What about Sprite? What about Coke? There's a market you pursue. There's a market you live to pursue. So now, having a market you pursue is where the clarity comes in. So people know that this is what you sell, but you also sell this. So they know you, they like you, they are coming to you for this. For example, why don't you see Dangote is a group of companies? Why don't they run all the product adverts together? That come and buy cement, and that's where a lot of some businesses make mistakes. Today, you are selling puff puff. Tomorrow is chin chin. Next tomorrow is meat pie. Next tomorrow is jollof rice. Let us know you for one thing. Now, when we now see that when I come to buy jollof rice from you, you also have chin chin. When I come tomorrow, you are coming for jollof rice. But I'm saying, you have moi. But actually, what am I coming to you for? Jollof rice. People like variety. People like something new. Now, having one thing is such that when you now introduce something new, it's exciting. You are known to sell jollof rice and chicken. And I said, we have moi now. Oh, really? It's not saying we have jollof rice, we have your chicken, we have moi. Now, because people it's clear. People don't want to, you don't want to stress it. Actually, what I'm saying is not just assumption again. It's fact. It's marketing psychology. Fact. When you stress your customers too much that they have to think before they can patronize you, you will lose them. In fact, Why do you think UI UX design is actually making money? Because when you open your app and it's looking scattered, you lose me. There's something called churn rates, and there's something called retention rates. And most times it's linked to product design. So when it comes to actually knowing, whether you want to choose variety or new stuff, you want to have one thing. I hope I'm not going to get this one, but I did pick me as maybe like 5 other brands. Okay, you know me as many. When it comes to you, you must have one thing people know you for. It's also with personal brand, even right. I see people's profile, right? Maybe this will just be a side on. Basically, you're a fashion designer, you're a graphic designer, you're a plumber, you're a real estate consultant. It doesn't work, and that's how people struggle. Right? Be one. Many people don't know. I still get business writing jobs, business plan jobs, but it doesn't come like the way it comes before. It's just someone just sits on that. Can you post create a feasibility study for our business? But maybe we're trying to do it. And in fact, right now, I now charge even way more. I can't write a business plan for you less than 5 million right now. Then I still to write for 2,000, 200,000. Because now they know that, okay, this guy is a business intelligence person. Not just theoretically, he has businesses he literally own. So when they are coming, they are not coming to me as a business plan writer. They are coming as a business consultant, as an entrepreneur. That I know that they can also offer this. So you want to have that one thing that people know you for that is clear. Then other add-on that you can just easily just recommend, and that people just come to because it's exciting. So that one you can easily just, we have something new. If I to help you to look at Chicken Republic now. They said they have Dodo Refuel. Yeah. By the way, Chicken Republic, come and pay me this free promo. They have Dodo Refuel, they have Max Combo, they have all those things. How do I know? I ate Chicken Republic for almost 1 year. So I have their menu in my head. So in fact, I wanted to put something today. This is another note that officially I accept I can't cook. Because every time I try to say to relax, I want to make for myself, I'm always making a disaster. So I said, I said that was yesterday. Was it yesterday or this morning? That I was watching all this Instagram chef. I was watching is in Diary of a Nigeria Food Lover. So she did this plantain and egg sauce. So I looked there's egg, there's plantain, there's this. Let's make something happen. Whether I over-fried the egg or the salt was not enough, all I know is that the egg was tasteless. I shall eat it. So officially I can't cook. So that's bad. Can we move on with the questions now?
So I wanted to ask about managing a business.
Okay.
I feel like the term business management is very wide. And you can get lost.
Yeah.
So my question is, what are the key areas of business management that founders and entrepreneurs should look into without getting lost? Because a regular business owner is the sales rep, is the accountant, is the marketing person, is the one running ads, is the inventory, and then they just get lost. Even when they have staff, they find it difficult to delegate and expand. So what are those key things that they should look into when it comes to management? Managing something, not actually being involved, and then not getting lost in it.
Okay, so management is in stages, right? Is in stages. The way you manage as a business doing 10 million is different from the way you manage users that is doing 100 million, as in a billion. And also, let's make it simple. Management is to get something done. So, we're in business. Why managing get confusing is that there's no clearly stated goal. That's where management gets confusing. There's no clear goal, right? We are in business, we have this product. We want to make, I like to be practical. iPhone recently stated that they're having 27% reduction in demand for iPhone 16. Businesses, now let's link it to businesses having the sold out thing. Sold out means I have this number of units I want to sell. Business also can have, I have this number of units as a target. So we have a clearly defined goal. So whatever I'm managing is towards this. So it now evolves. Okay, so if I'm going to, who is the marketing team in charge? And one thing I would like to say here is that I learned this from both jobs and Grant Cardone. He said when something goes wrong, and he said, who is in charge? He said it's marketing team. He doesn't accept. Who in the marketing team? That's where problem comes in. There's nobody that is clearly defined to take responsibility for certain things. We have a marketing team, but who is in charge of marketing? We have a social media team, but who is in charge of social media? So, Mark, when you are trying to manage something to get something up, there must be someone to be held responsible. Who that person dares not say it is this person. I don't know about it. Right? That's how to get stuff done. We have a goal to sell 20 units. To sell 20 units, we need to run an ad that will hit 20,000 people. We're in charge of marketing. Why did we not hit 20,000 people? Okay, we got 20,000 leads. We need to close 20 people. How come we're only able to close 20? Who's in charge of sales? Why am I able to streamline what I'm looking for to someone? Because I have a specific goal. Management is hard when you don't have a specific goal. A lot of business owners don't have quarterly goals, annual goals. It's just anything goes. That rhymes, eh? That rhymes. But really, that's just it. I was listening to Tony recently talk about when they bought their bank. They had this thing called 3-tier strategic plan. From year 1 to year 3, this is what I want to achieve. Year 3 to year 5, this is what I want to achieve. Year 5 to year 10, this is what I want to achieve. How many people have that? Right. So it's a lot when you don't have, because you'll be beaten everywhere. So when you have a goal, and then every action can be directed to that particular goal. So every action is calculated, is measured, is accountable. And when I say that it's in stages, is that one of the reasons business don't grow fast, is because actually entrepreneurs get stuck as a self-employed. Right? You don't want to trust anybody to run something. You don't want to let anybody do anything for you. You don't want to. You think you just you won't grow. You just continue to be self-employed. Right? At a point, you just have to trust capable hands. In fact, as a manager, you should not be the smartest person in your team. Yeah. You should have capable hands. You are you set the vision, and your people are accountable to get it done.
How do you communicate your goals to your team in a way that they have this sense of responsibility to carry out? Because a lot of business owners have staff. They have people that are smart. If you look at the CV of some CFOs or some managers, they're actually really smart. But how do you communicate your goal? I feel like there's a communication gap between CEOs, entrepreneurs, and their team. So how do you communicate your goals, your vision to your staff, that they have this sense of ownership?
Okay, I think it's in two ways. There's from the CEO's perspective, there's from the people's perspective. CEO's perspective can come from, there's some CEOs that they just believe that you can't know more than them. They are just this self-engrossed and things like that. So let me say it before I go into this thing. There are some people that you can't help. So for those who can be helped, there are the people we are trying to talk to. Also, there's no one size-fits-all way to communicate your vision. Because this is human beings you're talking about. And human behavior is dynamic. You have to know how each member of your team gets something. And if you have teams, good for you. That means the team lead is who you are responsible for. The team lead is now responsible to now communicate. One of the things I know how to do, that I think I've mastered, is that if I'm working for you and you give me 2 people to work, I don't need to tell them to believe in the vision. I will believe in it. I will embody the vision, so that you will feel guilty for not believing in it. So it's just a so. Number one, how do you embody the business? How do you carry it? Your communication first starts from the way you talk about it, the way people hear what you are not saying more than what you are saying. You might think that maybe it's because of the way I talk. I told someone some time ago that people don't share. He was saying, how can I make people see me in a particular light? And I said, no. People don't see you. People don't see you as what you say you are. People see you as who you think you are. Because from what you say, they can see who you might think you're saying, I'm a millionaire. What they're saying is, this guy is broke. Because actually, what you're thinking is, let me just tell them I'm a millionaire, but you still know that you're broke. But when it is here that you're a millionaire, Even though you are saying you are broke, what they are saying is, this guy is a millionaire. And people have come up to you and say, this Nigerian, God help us. I think I'm like you, God help us. Because even though what they are saying is that I don't have, you are seeing that they have. Because actually, who they are. So also, when it comes to communicating vision, what do you think about it? Do you actually believe it? Do you embody it? Do you embody it? See, go out, and I recommend this movie. It's not a good movie, but it can be a good movie. The Mob Boss. It's about all this mafia, drugs. It's on Netflix, I think. Go and see the movie. It's about how to make people loyal to you until death. And one of the law is that you can't be the boss if you are not ready to prove that you are the boss. So don't tell me to believe. Prove to me that this is what you believe in. By how much sacrifices you are making for it. So there's a problem somewhere. The boss is responsible to risk his life there to go and kill those people that are threatening us. There that I say that you are winning against our opponent, I'm loyal. Once an opponent can win you, I'm not loyal. So how much sacrifices are you making? When I was the head of interns in an organization I used to work in, right, I was training interns, mobilizing them and all those things. You can't come late. Why? Every morning I train you and I'm in the office before 7. And the organization gave us accommodation. 12 a.m. I'm still in the office, complete suit. Before 7 a.m. And we are living in the same compound. How do you want to come late? And I'm your boss. There's a level of sacrifice you make that people see. And even without you saying anything, when they come late, they are judged. But in this company, we have a cover of punctuality. We are coming by 10 a.m. Right? It's not any. And this company, we're trying to eat 1 million naira and go. We are trying to market. We're trying to sell. But there's no post on your Instagram that says about marketing. Right? So, for example, if I want to train a marketing team, maybe I want to train someone in sales or something. One of the things you will see, like fundamental, you cannot wake up in the morning and go back to sleep at night and not see my status. That's one. You cannot wake up in the morning and go back to sleep at night and I will not go live on one social media. So even if you can't learn anything from me, you can learn those two. You see all this, so what you are doing, how you are carrying the brand, the sacrifices you are making for the brand, communicate the vision.
Not necessarily.
If you check Jobs, the person building the software was not Steve Jobs. But while they are building, he's on the phone talking to investors. They are seeing his frustration. He's smart, he's slamming phone on himself, he's rolling on the floor trying to talk to someone, he's denying himself of food. Even if you don't believe in it, this guy killing himself. Even if it's just to join wire together, let me do it. So communicating vision is more than just saying it. Embody it. People are not dumb. There's a way you embody something that, no. And let me not forget the sacrifices they see you make for it. No. See, let me say his name. Right? Dr. Stephen Akida, when I was working with him, 8 p.m. he's still in the office. And he is never late. I say it again. He is never late to the office. There was a day we had the training. I was hosting the training for him. Only 2 people were around. The training was supposed to start by 9. He was not around. He was already in the office already. So he was not in the venue of the event. He now came, I think, 9:05. And I was there to start. He said, if we fix a meeting for 8 a.m. and you are the only one present there, start. The next time you try this nonsense, you'll be queried. That's the first thing is. If the association says that's training by 12 p.m. and it's 12 p.m. and he's the only one on the Zoom call. Good afternoon, everybody. I can see you comment the country you are joining from. He's the only one there. Comment, he will be talking as if there are thousands of people joining. And he didn't start. So when you see something like that, why do you want to be late? So when he sees you come late and he says, go back home, even if you cannot say this is a wicked boss.
Yeah.
So I think that's the balance.
I have my last question.
Okay.
A very short question. And that is, how does transparency in business, as a business owner, how does it boost growth? Because many people believe that you are the CEO, so you don't need to say some certain things. You are just there. You don't need to say some things. It's your business, it's your this, is your that. So
to keep it brief.
Yes.
You are safer when you are transparent. Even you. You see, accountability cannot be underemphasized. Cannot be overemphasized. Honestly. Number one, once you think you know everything, that's a sign that you don't know anything. Right? So if you cannot, and also your staff too, they are looking. In fact, if you are the type of boss that can say, send me 10,000 naira, send me 100,000 naira without explanation, your accounting team will steal from you. Because if our boss too can collect anytime, let us to collect something. What I'm trying to say is that be transparent about what is going on in the organization. Makes people feel responsible. People will take leadership on your behalf. But someone is complaining. They don't know what's going on. They don't even know what to say. So whatever the person is saying is true. If they call you a fraud, since you did tell us you are not a fraud, then I'll believe you are a fraud. Right? And also, it has a way of helping employees believe in you the more. Be loyal to you the more. Don't try to be a perfect boss. You are not perfect. No. You think Elubedi is perfect because you are not working with him. Or you think that Ode is a perfect boss because you are not working with him. Because you are not working with him. When you start working with him and start seeing the lapses, you will know. But then what we keep people loyal around is that they see that you are human. You make mistakes. And you admit your mistakes. Right? Don't try to be this all-knowing or be everything, always right boss. No. Be open. Yes, you are leading them. You are, showing them the path and you're trying to get them to get there. But at the same time, when you do something wrong, get feedbacks. This is what we're trying to do. This is what we're trying to do it. Now let me put the balance. You communicate to people at their level. There's some information you tell only to senior management. You don't tell to mid-level management. The information you give to mid-level management, you don't give to interns. So let's get that balance. You don't start opening your book to interns. So the balance is there. Right. I think we once have that conversation where we're having a meeting and I said they can't. So there are times like that. But then the people it's based on the person's responsibility. What's this person's responsibility to this organization? There are things I can tell you, I can't tell some other staff or some other, and even some other MD subsidiaries. I can't tell them based on this person's contribution. Especially if I tell you what I'm going to do, what are you going to do about it, right? So because me telling you is that this is what is happening. What can you do about it? What can you say about it? What can you think up about it? So I think that's really the balance. Be transparent, but also whom to be transparent to, at what level to be transparent.
Well, this session has been a lot.
I'm glad you get to do this.
It has been a lot, and I am happy on behalf of those that will be watching. And I look forward to this happening again next week. Yeah. So if this is the first time you're on our YouTube channel, you can scroll down and see a whole mini MBA that will really help your business drastically. And I'm your host for today. My name is Blessing Atonda. Until next time on Adesinaco Weekly Brief. Thank you.